This is a review for your test tomorrow on Chapter 12, Sections 1 and 2. The definition of a right prism is an object containing two congruent bases. The bases are parallel to each other, and the sides of the object are perpendicular to both bases. The lateral area of a right prism has a general formula that applies to all right prisms. Remember, lateral area is referring to the area of the sides of the shape. Specifically, we take the perimeter of the base and multiply it times the height of the whole object. Now, when I say perimeter of the base, remember that means you've got to identify the shape that makes your base. Is your base a triangle, a square, a rectangle, a rhombus? What is your base? The total area is the area of that base multiplied times 2, because we have 2 of them, plus the lateral area, which would be the area of all the sides. So the total area is the top, the bottom, and all the sides. And then the volume of any right prism can be found as the area of the base multiplied by the height of the entire prism. Now, what that means is, tonight on your formula sheet, you need to make sure you remember all the areas for the different shapes that we've covered.
Can we write those down?
Mm-hmm. Regular polygons, what's the area formula for that? Trapezoids, parallelograms, rhombuses, squares, triangles, all these things that we've already covered. You can write on the front and the back of the 3x5 note card. Just formulas, no pictures, no definitions. Yes?
In our homeworks, we never used 1/2 AP. Are we going to have to use that on the test?
Yes.
Is that the formula for regular polygon?
Yes, that's the formula for a regular polygon.
Like what?
And that's going to be like your,
Trick
Yeah.
question.
your like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious question.
Wait, what is?
I'll show you. We're going to work an example.
One with the armadillo.
Okay, then for pyramids, and more specifically, it would be called right pyramids. The lateral area was found with the formula 1/2 perimeter of the base times the slant height. Remember, the slant height is found in the center of one of the lateral faces, and it's perpendicular to the base edge. The total area is the area of your base, whatever shape that might be, but only one this time because there's only one base, plus your lateral area. So it's the bottom plus all the sides. And then finally, the volume of a pyramid is the same formula as volume for a prism, except the relationship between the pyramid that would be taken out of that prism is that its volume is 1/3 of the original. So you multiply by 1/3. And these are your basic formulas. From there, you're going to get more specific based on the shape that makes up your base. Okay? Now, I will have diagrams because it's great to be able to say the definition of a lateral edge, a base edge, a lateral face, a slant height, and a height. But if you cannot identify it on the actual shape, it doesn't help you. So, you need to be able to identify parts of all these objects, such as these, on a diagram. And at the beginning of each section, they have diagrams where they're pointing out and putting arrows to all these things. Okay? You won't have to label. I have some sort of something set up to where you can just, you know, that'll be all right. You won't be labeling everything. Like I may have, for each one of the things, I might have like a letter on it. And for lateral edge, is lateral edge A, B, C, D, or E? And you'll put,
So but it'll be what the points I'm saying.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. These are going to be questions. You need to be able to find the lateral area, the total area, and the volume of prisms and pyramids using the appropriate formulas.
I don't know if I can do that last part.
And you need to be able to juggle 5 tennis balls while balancing fine china on your head and standing on 1 foot.
Can we do what? We can only do bowling balls.
Has to be tennis balls.
Because you're still on your chin range.
Okay, not really. You don't have to. For those of you out there who really are going to come tomorrow, like some morons.
I like your hair so much.
Thank you.
I like so much.
I do too. I love it. Okay, the charts that we did for homework on page 478 and 485. You will have charts similar to those. All right, now we're going to pause the video for a second because I have to show y'all something and they can't see what I'm saying. So, we're taking a commercial break.
Megan. Okay.
And we're back.
You realize that their video didn't stop, right?
Right, it just kept going.
This page.
Okay, one formula that we haven't used in a little while, so you need to make sure you remember it, is the area of a regular polygon. I'm going to try to make most of the shapes simple, where your bases are squares or triangles or something like that. But I will give you 1 or 2 meaty problems, I'll call it, where you're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff you got to do, which we're about to do some crazy stuff. So the examples that we're about to do after this would be like the hardest types of problems on your test tomorrow.
So we could like put these marbles on the.
Yes.
We can just have one.
One no chord. You can do front and back. Write small, woman.
I can't write small.
I got all the formulas.
Okay.
I have a lot done.
Remember, the area of a regular polygon is found by 1/2 the perimeter of the polygon multiplied by the apothem. Now, we need to recall how we find the apothem if all we're given is, say, that the measure, of a side is 8.
The measure is 4 and the little.
We have a reference triangle in every regular polygon, where this blue dotted line represents the apothem and the red dotted line represents the radius, correct?
Right.
And because each of the triangles formed inside of here is an isosceles triangle, this blue line cuts the base in half. So that means that the bottom of that triangle is 4 units long. So we have a right triangle, and we can use right triangle trigonometry to figure out the apothem. But there's one more piece of information that we know here, and it's finding this angle. How do you do that? Does anybody remember?
The amount of sides divided.
180 divided by
all the sides.
180 divided by the number of sides, and it gives you that angle measure. Okay? And it's 30, which means we have a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle where 4 is the short leg, and we need the apothem, which is the long leg. So the measure of the apothem is 4 square roots of 3. Yes,
Would the radius be 8?
the radius would be 8, but you don't need to know that at this point.
No, I'm just trying to get all of the.
Okay. So now let's actually find the area of this thing. It's 1/2 times the perimeter. Well, the perimeter, there's
8 times 6, which is 48.
6 sides, each 8 units long, so the perimeter is 48. You have a question? Nick?
Well, you did we found the apothem by the special triangle, like
Special right triangle, 30, 60, 90. And then the apothem we just found was 4 square roots of 3.
And the hypotenuse is twice that. The hypotenuse would be 8, right? If we were
Correct.
holding-
Correct. If we were looking for it, needed it for some reason. Okay, and then we would multiply this out and have the areas. Okay? So just as a refresher on how we found the area of regular polygons. Can I move? Okay.